welcome to the Get Ready with God podcast. My name is Julie Taylor, and I am your host, and I am not God, obviously, and I'm not an expert. I'm not even a scriptorian. I'm literally just a girl sitting in front of a microphone, hoping God is real. The Get Ready with God podcast is the daily devotional podcast to help you see divinity in every day. Do you ever wonder what you're doing with your life? Do you ever wonder, what am I doing? I do. And actually, I wonder that less right now than I have at other times in my life. And that's actually what inspired this episode. I said to a friend today, I'm 37 years old, and this is the first time I've really liked my job. And that's not totally fair because I've had little instances of liking my job here or there in my professional life. But what I meant by it was I feel like, and I think this part of this just comes with like age and life, but this is the first time in my life where I have a lot going on and things feel very overwhelming and I feel in over my head in almost every aspect of my life. And yet I'm not miserable. And this has been a really interesting feeling for me because my days are very packed. I refuse to identify as a busy person. I just don't identify that way. I prioritize my life in accordance to my values, and it's pretty packed full right now, but I choose everything that I do. Everything I do is a choice, and I like to see it that way. I don't like to feel like I'm a victim to my schedule. So I don't identify as a busy person. However, I have a lot going on and there's a lot of demands. But this week, I was just thinking about how not miserable I am. I really enjoy my life right now, and I like my day to day, and I feel like I'm in a good spot with my motherhood and my professional life and my creative work and my volunteer work and my personal endeavors of my own health and mental wellness. Like I feel like I'm in a good place with all of these pillar value things that I have. And I don't end each day completely defeated. I end each day kind of energized and ready to take on the next. Again, there are moments each week where this is not true, but overall, I've never had my schedule this full. I've never had this many demands on me and felt this good. And that is even with the grief card at play. And so I've been kind of exploring, why is this true? Why am I in this situation and what's the difference before? And I think that a lot of it has to do with value alignment. And I know you're sick of me talking about that probably, but I just feel like I'm finally getting to a place where things are kind of clicking into place. And I feel like I am where I'm supposed to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I have felt moments of this in my life before, but it's a different feeling right now to go to bed and not dread the next day. I also deal with clinical depression, so the next wave could hit and I might be singing a different tune, but it's a different kind of alignment. And as I look at the journey to get here, there are a lot of things that I felt called to do on a divine level. I felt were divinely guided that ended terribly, terribly. And it was so confusing each time one of those things ended in tragedy or hurt or disappointment at the very least. And it would be really confusing because this is where we've talked about building trust with God, because I would think I felt God guided to do this thing and it ended terribly. And as I thought about the path to get where I'm at right now, personally and professionally, every single one of those things that have ended terribly are the things that got me to this position right now. I needed all of them. Every path that I went down that ended led to the next path. One thing is always leading to the next thing, even when you can't see it. That is what I've learned. Do you know what my career has looked like? My degree is in a pre-med. I have a pre-med degree. I went to college for 2 years. I dropped out. I went to hair school. I was a hairstylist while I finished a pre-med degree. And then I went to grad school to be a therapist. Dropped out of that. Started freelance writing. Started a copywriting career. This is more of the norm now, right? Is weird career paths. My point in saying that is I could not have predicted that being a hairstylist would lead me to be a marketing director and to have a podcast and a book and do the things that I'm doing right now. None of that would have made sense to me. When I think about the alignment that I'm able to live in right now, again, not perfect, but good. To get to this place, every single one of the previous tragedy, hurtful, disappointment, disasters has been necessary. Every single one of them. One thing has led to the next thing. There's no way for me to know that being a hairstylist would lead to this, but that is one of the steps on the path. My career is one example that's easier to share, but even personally, there's just all of these things that I felt called and directed to do. And then when they ended in hurtful things, I was just kind of like, WTF, God? Honestly, like, do you hate me? Was I wrong? What are we doing here? And I know it's such a cliche to say things like trust God's timing and we don't have the whole perspective, but we actually don't know God's timing. And so when we're in the thick of something and we feel betrayed by God, we feel disappointed by God, and we're saying, why did you guide me to do this thing when this is how it ended? Just try to have faith that one thing always leads to the next thing, even when you can't see it. And I think there are some things that we never get to see. It's fun when we get to see, like in hindsight, of how one thing led to the next, and we get to understand the meaning of something. That is really fun. That doesn't always happen. I think we can go a whole lifetime with never really understanding the why of some things. I also think that some things just happen. I don't think everything happens for a reason. But I do think that in these instances, when we feel divinely guided to do something or to become something or to take something on and it ends badly, one way or another, a way to find hope through that is that we just don't know why, and we don't know what's next, and we don't know possibly what it's leading to. And that it might be a really necessary step on the path to get us where we actually need to be, but maybe even where we want to be. I like where I'm at right now, and all of that crap was necessary, unfortunately. When we can trust God more than we can trust ourselves, we open ourselves up to be able to go down a path that takes us places that we couldn't dream of going. If you're in the period right now where you feel disappointed and betrayed by God, and maybe disappointed and confused and betrayed by your own choices that you thought were inspired, consider the possibility that it's leading to the next thing, even if you can't predict it and even if you don't know where it's going. The platitude of trust God's timing is hard to embrace, especially when we are in the middle of hurt and grief and pain and suffering. But I invite you to use that platitude personally to look at your life and see where one thing led to another where it couldn't have been predicted, and just flirt with the optimism that maybe you don't know what's next in a good way. I don't know what God has in store for me, but I am gaining confidence and faith in the fact that if I continually choose to prioritize Him and His path and follow it, that it's going to take me where I need to be and even where I want to be. That all of these painful endings might lead to a beautiful new beginning. I'm choosing to trust that. I'm choosing to believe it because it's more fun to believe that. So try it. Love you. Bye.